Hi, this is week 4 for me in Ghana. I'm based at Jamasi Hospital, which is a community hospital. I wanted to talk a bit about what I've learned, and I think the culture shock, which I've got over, and I now don't see things the way I did in the first few days. The patients, a lot of them arrive in the morning. The hospital takes A&E admissions and will pass them on if they can't deal with it, because the hospital doesn't have intensive care. It's orthopaedic, basically, the hospital. There are a couple of medical wards, a couple of surgical, paediatrics, there's a labour suite, maternity ward, and neonatal intensive care. When you walk in the morning, it's noisy because a lot of people arrive early, and this is for review appointments. So even if they're appointments this afternoon, they'll come in the morning. These patients will generally sit at the consulting rooms because they know where they're going. The A&E waiting area is always full. There's always people waiting to get seen with various injuries. That's the first thing that you see when you come in, and there's quite often people groaning that are in pain. There's quite often children crying. It's not a nice walk through in the mornings, but that's the only way that you get into the main hospital, so all the staff have to walk in that way. There's no blood bank within the hospital. If a patient needs blood, the family have to get checked to see who matches, and then they will donate. So the bigger the family that they have, the more relatives that will offer to donate you blood, the better. We had a boy in on Friday who I don't want to be too graphic, his urine was very red, and he has malaria and he's being treated for malaria. But when and he was lying down, the child, I just thought he was sleepy, but he was really not responding particularly well. He was about 7 or 8. And when they did his hemoglobin, it was 2.9. Now, your iron level should be 12, so 2.9 is dangerously low. Anything from 7 and below, you would get transfused. So there's no blood bank, so family members had to come in and get checked and cross-matched, and he got donated 4 units, which is probably about the full volume of his body at his age. So people will turn up like that are really ill. We also had a man in that was quite breathless and had been breathless, he was 60 something, breathless for 3 weeks, and just putting up with it. And he'd had a hernia repair done about a month ago, and he felt that the breathlessness was the result of the hernia repair. But when we did a chest x-ray in him, his lungs, when you look at a chest x-ray, the bit where the ribs are like that, there should just be black in between. So you should see the ribs, and then it should just be black, which is air, and it shows a good air entry. His was all cloudy looking, which means he's not got good entry, and also his heart was enlarged, so he's probably got an infection, plus he's already got an enlarged heart, and that's why he's short of breath. So he was going to be sent to another hospital because they haven't got the equipment or the specialist. There's no cardiologist or kidney specialist or anything at the Jamasi Hospital. So these were a couple of cases that we dealt with during the week, and I also got to see a baby being born by caesarean section, which I commented on in a previous video, which was a lovely experience. And unfortunately the baby got sepsis. The baby was born on Wednesday, was in intensive care on Thursday, and I felt really worried for the baby, and because I'd been there when she was born. She was only 2 kilos, which is quite small. But when I went to visit them, I went to visit the mum and the baby on Thursday, and when I went to visit them on Friday, they'd been discharged. So that's a really happy outcome. And I'm going to follow up tomorrow on the boy that was anemic and the older man with his breathlessness, because I feel interested in these cases and I'd like to know what happens. So that's a bit about what sort of has walked into the hospital this week when I've been involved in their care. And I'll let you know about the boy and the man in a future YouTube video.